Oh boy, it's time for the biz-new. Right. Alright, we need to do the business. That's what we need to do. Oh boy. Alright. Oh goodness gracious, Kuhn. You're already here. Why did you chug a bottle of vinegar? Excuse me? Excuse me? Excuse me? Oh. I'm so concerned. Oh goodness. Alright. Let's do the shilling. Let's do what we do best and let's shill. Oh boy. Yeah, but I didn't... Okay, Q, I didn't expect people to, like, immediately join. I mean, that's rare for me. That's rather rare for me. Anyway, we're gonna do our little bit of shilling. And then we'll get straight into the business. So... Kind of have a little PSA for you. Regarding... last stream. Because the last stream, my internet just completely cut out. And I have no idea why. If it keeps doing that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what the future of streams are gonna look like. For this channel. I hope it doesn't keep cutting out, but you know, it does. I think our days might be numbered in a sense. Alright. Let's go through and do some shilling though. Ah. Oh no, streamer mode's meant to be on. No, stop. Why is streamer mode not on? I'm sad. The things in this life make me sad. They make me boo. They make me boo-hoo and cry. Oh goodness. This is why we keep streamer mode on, so I don't have to deal with this kind of garbage. Ugh. Nerd. Alright, we're back into the biz-new. Oh my word, Crystal is here. My roommate chugged a bottle of vodka and I just... Guys... You got... Oh no. Oh, it's sad. Anyway, we need to get into the business. We need to get into the business. Also, how are you doing, Crystal? But seriously, though, we need to get into today's business. Why is it bright? Oh, I hate that it's bright. Oh. Alright, so here's the business. I basically spent all of yesterday binging How to Get Away with Murder, so I got no work done. I did like a couple of sketch things here and there, like top right hand panel and, you know, middle left panel are almost done. I'd say middle left panel is actually done, but top right panel is just no. It's just no. It's I need to like master that facial expression before I'm happy with doing line art. But what we are going to do is something very, very cheeky. Gonna go into panel 4. Molto bene. And we're gonna just design a panel from the ground up because, quite frankly, I have an idea about what I want to do, but I haven't put it out into a sketch, which I should have done. Ugh, nerd. Whoops. Whoopsie. Whoops. Doopsie. Whoopsie doopsie. Harry Potter X Snape is a thing, and I am scared of the fan art. Oh my lord. Oh goodness. Oh. Oh dear. Oh dear. There's a conflict arc just happening in YouTube chat right now. Oh dear. Oh dear. What? Oh dude. Finally! Oh my goodness gracious. That took so long to find a wedding with 2 guys. Goodness. Goodness gracious. That took ages to find. And yes, I'm currently searching up wedding poses because right now, like I'm trying to mimic something. Alright, I think I know. I think I know. I think I know. I think I think I think I know. I think I know. I think I know. I think I think I think I know. What the hell? Wow, another channel, but I'm starting to get pretty suspicious of them. What channel? What channel? I'm curious, I'm curious. Show me. Show me. I want to know. I want to know so I can keep them playing in the background. Right. I have an idea. I have an idea. And we're going to sketch this idea out really quickly. Really quickly. Provided we're good enough. Some small gaming channel, like 177 subs. Okay, sick. Ah. 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 No, how do I draw front on? Oh, goodness gracious. Gonna have to tweak this head angle a little bit. While my user translates to handsome upperclassmate in Filipino and Japanese. Nice. Nice, that is what you love to see. That is what you love to see. Yes, they look like human heads. Oh, I gotta fix that. Oh no. Oh no. That's probably the issue over here, is that Eve has a very human head. We're gonna have to fix this. We're gonna have to fix this. Every other time where I've, you know, not drawn human heads, it actually works out. Crazy, right? This guy looks like the Giga Chad freaking meme. Goodness gracious. Alright. That's why I need my circles. My circles help me. My circles help me draw like animal heads. This is why I need my circles. Goodness. Goodness gracious. That just looks bad. Look, oh, look, okay, look, okay, look. I'm gonna nail this, but it's gonna take time. I'm gonna have to spend, so long trying to figure out how to redraw furries. Nice Mason Rory, Pog, we love that. I keep getting called Dave Henderson. What on earth? That's bizarre. That's bizarre, and you know it. Oh, you know it. That's so bizarre. Okay. Alright, forward. In, out. Wait, no, they're not going live. Oh, crap. Oh, yikes. That's no good. That's no good. I hope they get out of that safe. C and D is not fun. C and D is not fun. Chances are I'll probably get one of my videos C and D'd sometime in the future. Because there was that one stream where we just listened. Oh, please. Are we fine? Are we okay? I think we're okay. We almost... Dave Henderson is deed, I think. Oh my goodness. This internet garbage is really starting to get on my nerves. That makes me absolutely livid. Ugh. Yeah. If this happens again, I might have to chuck on the VPN and see if that helps, but I don't think that's even gonna help. Ugh. Oh, I hate that so much. Anyway, I'm gonna stop speaking negatively right now, and I'm just gonna draw. I'm just gonna draw. Move some of that tummy up. Microwave times? Oh, in what way? In what way do microwave times make you livid? What way do microphone times rattle you to your core? How do they do such things? Oh, never heated evenly. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. See, what I do right, is, I basically, like, mix it in. I mix in all of my food because I assume, right, like, you're heating up leftovers. So I get my leftovers and then I, like, mix them in, and heat them up. So you can get, like, an evenly, you know, heated dish. That's like a general strategy to overcome that scourge that pervades in our society. Okay, sweet. Yeah, we're gonna make them bigger. Like, actually, no. No, I don't think we'll do that. We'll just, no, we won't even lower him. What are we gonna do with Kabir? Oh, goodness gracious, that's interesting. You threw a, no, you did not. I call, that's Cap. That's Cap, and you know it. That's Cap, and you know it. Alright, now we're gonna do Eves. Now we're gonna do Eves, alright. Best furry? No. 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 Goodness. There is Donkey Kong. Okay. I wonder if I could have made it through my day without having to hear such a thing. I wonder sometimes. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright. Oh, come on, you. Oh, thank goodness. Now I'm drawing my furry characters the way they're meant to be drawn. A little bit. Oh, does it still look too human? I hope not, but there's every possibility that it does. I think it's this back here. Fix that up just a little bit. Alright, time to slim it down just a little bit. I think I'm starting to figure out what my problem is. It's the amount of size, it's the amount of space that I dedicate to the eyes. I think that's the reason why. That's the reason why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Let's see. There. Make Eve's head bigger, put it here. I think that works. I think that can work. Yes, I'm not a VTuber yet. I've been looking into it, right? I just gotta dedicate some free time to it. It's entirely possible that I might dedicate this afternoon to it. Granted, I finish off this page. But yeah, no, I actually, like, I want to be able, I'm thinking about tinkering around in Unity, maybe this afternoon, and figuring out how the hell texture mapping works. Because in my mind, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a free base from the internet, tweak her around to, you know, create a model for myself, just to understand how it works before I go on to make another from scratch, you know? Bro, what is with... This is crazy. Yeah, honestly, very serious. I've got no clue what you're on about. Absolutely no clue. It's a little bit concerning, I'm not going to lie. Little bit concerning. Oh, goodness. I'm calling cap on pretty much all of these things that you're saying. I refuse to believe in such a world where you would do such things. Ugh, merde. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, no, not even gonna believe you. Goodness. Goodness gracious. I think her head needs to be... I think I know what I need to do with her head. Oops. There we go. And from here, we can change the size of it. It does look a lot more masculine though. I don't know. We're gonna have to like tinker around with that until we find something we're happy with. No, actually, please don't. Could you not do that? Seriously, I'm probably should stop. I know that you're probably joking about it, but actually stop. Actually stop, please. It was funny while it lasted, a little bit. It was just insane, but, you know, please quit it. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. It's the location of her head. Of course it's the location of her head. Goodness. Yes, I know that's not her breast size, but we'll like fix this up later. We'll fix this up later. It's something close to this, honestly. Something more close to that than what we had before. Shoulders might need to be a little bit more sloped though. That's the thing. I got Jojo is in like the anime, or I've got no clue what you mean by Gojo. Honestly, I have zero idea what you mean by Gojo. Yeah, this is getting a little bit too wild. Do you mind? Do you mind? Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. I've got no clue what Gojo is. I have no clue what Gojo is in the slightest. This is a little bit of an awkward pose, but... Ugh, nerd. Nerd. Oh, anime? Oh, okay. Oh, right, okay, my bad. My bad, I had no clue what that was, but now I do. It is an amazing song. Speaking of songs, I've been really getting back into Daft Punk recently. Random Access Memories? Molto bene. Bellissimo. Really, really good album. Really, really solid album. I don't think there's a single bad song on that album, ever. Really good. Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely, no, Bo Burnham is where it's at. Is she too small? She might be just a little bit too small. I'm gonna move one of her hands back, I think. I'm gonna move this. Oh my lord, I am bad. No wonder. Oh, no wonder she looks so freakish. I'm gonna have to fix that up. Might make her a little bit bigger. Put her there. Reduce her head size. Move that down. Make her bigger again. That looks way better. Oh goodness. Goodness gracious. Ah, oh, Feral, how are you doing? Did you finish your stream? I tried to keep it up in the background long enough. You know, just to get you an extra view. but I am curious if that actually ended up working. Sweet. 2 minutes. Got another one. Yep. No, Feral's a good person. Feral's a good person. Do you want to just jump into the stream chat? And we can just kind of chill if you want. You can always chill in stream chat if you want. I could use someone to talk to. We'll figure out this garbage when we do the actual sketch. Right. Right, I think that's a general pose that I'm happy with. Ish. Yes, need to fix this. Yes, we'll finish this. We'll finish this. I think these two are going to be the most challenging out of all of them. But we just need to get them right. We need to get them just right. Just right. I think I know what I'm going to do with this arm, actually. I'm going to chuck it back here. And chuck it in front. And chuck it in front right there. Yeah, okay, that's better. That's better. Okay, that's a much better way of approaching things. Oh, no! Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I hope it's not too bad. Your D drive failed in the repair to... Oh, goodness. Might need to invest in a new hard drive. Oh, that's no good at all. Oh, your PC... Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Oh, that sounds awful. I think from what Feral's saying, it's fixable, but I've got... Oh, wow, that sucks. Okay, okay, Poggy. Alright, Poggy, alright. Alright, alright, alright. Arm can go out a little bit, I think. Yeah, okay, that's best. That's best. Easy peasy. I have a spare 500 gigabyte around. I wanted to... for a terabyte one. Oh, oh, of course. Of course I did. Oops. Of course I did. Oh, we've spent about 30 minutes on this. Ay, ay, ay. We need to pick up the pace. Ay, 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 ay. Alright. Let's get rid of panel 3 so we actually can focus. Imagine missed. Oh goodness. Oh goodness gracious. No. No, I don't want to think about the funny Bandicoot man, please. Please, that sounds awful. No. No, I don't want to think about him. No. No. Okay, we need to sketch out his eye locations. Okay. No. Sidebar. Sidebar. We need to have a look. We need to have a look at some previous sketches, because I have a pretty good feeling that I've never had to do this. I've never had to do this. I've just done it like with intuition. So why am I starting to sketch out eye holes now of all times? I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do that. Okay, now I'm watching from my falling at home PC. Oh, your laptop. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry, man. Oh, this was the wrong one. No, it was the right one. I'm a genius. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Ow. See, here's the thing, you don't want to deviate too much from your original style. Like, I could absolutely do eye socket sketches for the next chapter, for consistency's sake. But I don't want to do it, like, at the very end of this chapter. I just want to make sure that I get everything right the way it is. The last thing I want to do is forget how to, like, you know, automatically draw. Oh, folding at home is a program to share the CPU power. Nice! Oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's really, really cool. I like that. Wait. Oh, cool. Fighting, yeah. Like for simulations, I think? Yeah. Share the CPU power for science. Oh, anyway. Yeah, Pog. Anyway, moving on. Going to your place if there's a zombie. I mean... Oh, Posty Burb, don't do that. Come on. Come on. Enough of that. Enough of that. There's absolutely no need. Your phone gonna die. Oops. Whoopsie doopsie. Oh, goodness. Hopefully it doesn't die for too long. Imagine... Oh, goodness. Okay, right. That's not how eyes work. That's a little bit better. We'll use that for now. We've got to be much better when drawing eyebrows. It's gonna be a long night. Oh goodness. Oh goodness, you poor thing. Oh, not really. I mean, there's not many American-made movies about Australia to begin with, is the thing. There's not much to be, what's its face? There's not much to, be embarrassed about, you know? I think Americans are more embarrassed about movies made about themselves, you know? Kangaroo Jack is not a film about Australia. I'm sorry, Kangaroo Jack just isn't it. I don't even know if Kangaroo Jack can even be considered a film about Australia. I don't know, maybe I'm just uncultured about Australian films, or films about Australia. I mean, there's a couple of good examples. For example, film... I think The Good Stuff. It was such a bad movie, yeah. I had a feeling. Was it The Good Stuff or The Right Stuff? The Right Stuff had a moment, that has aged pretty poorly regarding regarding Indigenous Australians, but... What was the other one? Let's see, Apollo 11 films. Because yeah, there was Hidden Figures. No, come on. Come on, there's more. There's The Right Stuff, The Dish. The Dish was actually a really good one. It was a 2000s film, because obviously Australia, had a part to play in sending information about, or like information from Houston, or like relaying information from, the astronauts on the Apollo 11 mission, capturing radio waves and relaying that back to Houston. So there's a really good film about it called The Dish, set primarily in Australia. So really cool film if you want to go and watch that. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's interesting. But yeah, no, made in Australia. I think by Australians. Look, it's good. It's good. Just take my word for it, and you know it's good. Maybe it won't be moving fast. You got this, Feral. We're talking about Apollo 11 films and an Australian film called The Dish. That was all about the Apollo 11 mission, and how Australia had a role to play in relaying the information from the space shuttle that was carrying the astronauts all the way back to Houston. Yeah, a little part of the Apollo missions that pretty much no one knows about. Because, like, oh, the Americans, they're the ones that landed on the moon, but really, like, come on. We had a part to play. Okay, so deadass, there was about, I think there was a moment midway through the mission, where our guys literally just, like, we lost the astronauts, and obviously, like, because he's paid off by the Australian. What do you think American films are, if not American propaganda, then? Riddle me that. You think just because you have films saying that you guys are the best, that, you know... Come on. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, no, there was a period where we just lost the astronauts that that was sent up. And so we had about a team of 3 people who were working on the who were working in the satellite dish. Oh, whereabouts in Australia was it? I remember visiting it, but I can't remember whereabouts it was. The dish. Maverick scientists on a remote Australian sheep farm are the globe's only hope for obtaining the images of man's... Yeah, that's right. We were responsible for transmitting the images of the moon landing. That's crazy. I completely forgot about that. The images of, like, one small step for man, but one giant leap for mankind. Were transmitted from Australia. That's crazy. Okay, Parkes Observatory in New South Wales. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. I never knew about that. Oh, like I knew about that, I just forgot about it. Oh, you're Russian? Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's a quaint little part of history, and you know, it doesn't focus on like government stuff because let's face it, you cannot trust governments to keep you safe. You can only trust governments to keep themselves safe. But you know, it handles the responsibilities of the little guy in pulling off something massive, like, you know, in pulling off something massive, such as transmitting images of the moon landing. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It was a good film. It was actually released on my birth year, the year of 2000, the year of the new millennium. So, you know, if you're not a fan of old films, maybe give it a miss, but, you know, if you're interested in seeing a comedic version of a part of our history, then go for it. Go for it. I would highly recommend it. But yeah, there was another film about the American moon landing called The Right Stuff. I don't think it's as good. I'm older than that. Interesting. Good to know. But yeah, there was another film about the moon landing called The Right Stuff. And I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. It does feel very propagandary. I don't know. But yeah, I would super duper recommend watching The Dish. If not for like, you know, learning the history of it, just watch it because, you know, it's a decent film. It's a decent film. There are some funnies, there are some ha-has. And usually the truth is stranger than fiction. Crazy how a small little satellite dish built in the middle of a sheep farm was responsible for transmitting the images of Neil Armstrong on the moon. And I think that's super cool. Oh, thanks Amazon. Thanks for recommending it. Oh, you're so cool, Amazon. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, I hate you all. Mate. Goodness gracious, could you imagine? Ugh. Stretch Armstrong, very nice. Very nice. Where the hell did Stretch Armstrong even come from? I'm actually a fan of tacos. I'm a fan. Let's have a look at Stretch Armstrong. You were invented in 1976. No, it's literally just a guy. It turns out that it was just a guy. It was a dude that you could pull on his arms, and that was it. It wasn't based off of anyone, it was just a guy. That's crazy. That's super duper crazy. I don't know, I like tacos, but I hate Taco Bell. I would not recommend getting anything from Taco Bell. Bad, disgusting. Disgusting, I do not like that place. Crazily enough, it bucks the trend of supersizing literally every single meal. Because we ordered Taco Bell off a website when we were, you know, like off their website when we were in America. And I assume like, okay, I'm gonna get their smallest taco, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be big enough for me. No, their smallest taco was miniature. Honestly, compared to everything else in America, that one was like invented for toddlers. Goodness gracious. Plus, like, it's not good. It's not good. I don't know, I don't care if you think Taco Bell is nice. It's not. It's not. Ugh, yuck. Yuck. Honestly, okay, I had Burger King while in Thailand. Best Burger King I've had in my life. Best Burger King I've had in my life. I don't know what it was, but eating Burger King in the Bangkok airport, molto bene. Molto bene was actually really, really nice. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Burger King, aka Hungry Jack's over here, just isn't it. It just isn't it. Everyone loves Macca's. Everyone loves Macca's. It's the Australian, it's like the most Australian paradoxically, the most Australian fast food in Australia, just due to the name alone. Plus, like, we have salads and stuff. Could you imagine getting a salad in American McDonald's? Could not be me. Could not be me. Our wraps over here are divine. We have incredible wraps in Macca's. It's like, honestly, you guys in America are missing out. KFC is also really good over here. Pretty much KFC, you're either a KFC person or a Macca's person. But yeah, no, like Australian McDonald's, incredible. You guys are missing out in America. Because like Australian McDonald's is where it's at. They're not just some, well, you know, they're largely a property investment group, but, you know, Australian McDonald's is lit. It's so good. That's fine, you're not in Australia either. I think it's pretty much poo-poo anywhere on the country. Actually, I'm curious, what is the standard of living in Russia? Let's have a look at this. Obviously, Denmark is the highest, Switzerland, Finland, Australia in fourth. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's what you love to see. What's in Russia? Oh, goodness. Oh, my lord, it's rank 70. Oh, goodness, you guys. Climate index pollution index is much worse. Healthcare index is better than the US. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness, I feel bad for you guys. Great Britain is somehow worse than America. I could believe that. Canada is worse than the US. Oh, goodness. New Zealand is ranked 8th. Australia is ranked 4th. Our climate index. Okay, so I think higher the climate index, let's have a look at this, actually. Let's nerd out on data. Climate index. I'm going to assume the bigger number is better. And New Zealand is, you know, very poggers. Australia is very poggers too. Let's go to a place where I know has issues with pollution. Japan is good. No, we need to be looking at the pollution index, that's right. Yeah, that's not good. Spain is pretty bad. The UK is pretty... I'm going to assume... No, lower the number means worse. Oh, I've got no clue. It's such an arbitrary ranking. But hey, 4th highest standard of living in the world. We take those. We take those. I'll be doing the Manberg. Oh, goodness. That legalizes theft under... I saw that! Oh, goodness. Q, you and I both know that you have one of... You know, America is still a very conservative country. Very, very conservative. I don't think you guys are going to be worrying about problems with socialism anytime soon. Even though that seems like the political zeitgeist at the moment. Or, not the zeitgeist, the bogeyman. Goodness gracious. I think the word socialism is thrown more around over there than the word terrorism is. It's unfathomable. I'll be doing other stuff now. Have a nice stream. I just hope... Oh, goodness. Oh, alright. Take care, Feral. I hope your PC makes a swift recovery. Seriously, though. PC is basically a lifeblood of any millennial. Well, like, you know, but you stream. So... yeah, it's kind of your lifeblood, but yeah. Anyway, take care. I really hope you honestly, yeah. Look, here's the thing, right? People are always going to be discontent with their standard of living. So, quite frankly, what you have to consider in the stage of global politics, or like in the stage of politics in general, is that the party that is able to address or like appear to address those needs the best way imaginable will win. So Biden, even though he's continuing a lot of the policies that Trump is doing, you know, people just don't want a deranged lunatic in power. And so that's why he won the presidency, you know? And it doesn't help that Obama's policies were largely neoliberal and establishment-based. Because, you know, that's how Trump got in, is that he was a man for the people, apparently. When really politics has been a very, you know, elite-driven... yeah, I mean, it was establishmentism. It was establishment Democrats had... you know, spent 8 years in the White House, and then populism just took over, you know? If you want to track, like, the movement of political leanings, that's what you should be looking for, is the fight between establishmentarianism versus populism. You know, the whole right-leaning and left-wing, the whole conservatism and progressivism is... it's a smokescreen. At the end of the day, college politics is largely a smokescreen. What you need to be looking out for is, you know, the deeper stuff. Make America Great Again. Wasn't that Metal Wolf Chaos XD? No, I'm just, me. Oh, mech, no, that's a pun, that's a pun. Oh, I think I know what you're thinking about. Oh, no, metal... Wait, Senator Armstrong said that? That's hilarious. I never knew about that. Oh, I love Platinum Games. Imagine... Wait. That makes sense that Platinum Games made Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. That makes so much sense. The fact that you can taunt, like, that you can taunt a big robot enemy and it'll get mad is hilarious. And, you know, I'm not even surprised that Platinum Games came up with that gem. Make America Great Again. Metal Wolf Chaos XD was marketed with the slogan Mech America Great Again, as in like mech, as in like robot mech, which I found was really funny. Because the whole game is you as the president of the United States controlling a mech suit trying to take down the vice president, and it's hysterical. Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. And I'm fairly sure it's Platinum too. Or if it's not Platinum, it's, you know, another crackhead studio. I'm almost certain it is. Metal Wolf Chaos XD is... No! It was From Software, which, you know, I would have believed Platinum. Well, no. Okay. Alright, that makes way more sense. That makes way more sense. And then, you know, it was re-released onto PC with the tagline, Mech America Great Again. Dark Souls. The Dark Souls guys made Metal Wolf Chaos XT. We live in a great world. We live in a really, really great world. Ay. Alright. Scalebound? Oh, I haven't heard of Scalebound. What is this? What is Scalebound? Oh, I see. No. No, why? What was the concept of it? That would have been cool. I'm mad. That actually makes me upset. That actually makes me upset. Write it to... I know, right? It's almost as if it's a good game concept and Microsoft is bad. Is a bad publisher. Imagine fumbling like your main IP so bad. Goodness. Ugh. Like, granted, it's... like, Microsoft isn't a slimy game company, but they're not great. They're not great by any stretch of the imagination. He's got tiny baby hands. We need to fix that. Move that back here. Sweet. Easy peasy. That's decent. That's decent, I think. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie, okie dokie. Alright, we need to actually, like, pay attention. Because, like, you're done, but you aren't. So we need to actually draw now. Everything before that? Nah, that was the baby mode. That was baby mode. Now we need to actually do the things that we're known for. We need to focus on using this. Alright. Hold up. I'm just gonna do something real quick. I will be right back. Just give me like 3 seconds. Big boy. None of that can be heard in the background. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine if people could hear that? Oh, that would not be fun. I've only been doing this for an hour. Alright, we need to pick up the pace. We need to pick up the pace. Oi, moi, moi. Oi, moi, 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 moi. Oi, moi, moi. Okay. Oh, heal. Oh, I just have a lot of friends who are drinking the night before. And somehow they've managed to earn back their vitality. Because Lord knows how, but they've just managed to do it. How similar is she to... She's not too similar to Cassie. Though when I go to draw Cassie, I think I'm gonna make her look less effeminate. Or like effeminate in a different way, I think. I think that's important. Right. Oh, ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. Sounds like fun. A little bit. Because, like, it's the first week back of university. Alright, gotta finish the rest of the available comic. What, me or you? I'm I'm a little bit confused. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're talking about. Or was that because I was talking about Cassie? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, it's... Don't stress. Don't stress. You've got all the time in the world. Especially because I'm going to be doing a lot of research for Chapter 4 before I put anything to paper. Like, I've got... Realistically, I've got a handful of pages written out in my head. Like, I know where they would go if I were to write them out, but quite frankly, I have nothing concrete written out. So I think once I've got something a bit more to write about, then and only then would I consider seriously dedicating time to Chapter 4. But yeah. Unfortunately, she is suffering, or like Eve is suffering from human face syndrome, so we're gonna have to fix that up a little bit. Am I making... No, I've got her curls. The balance of your... So here's the thing. I want to be able to... Usually what I do is then I write out everything. I plan out a chapter, and then only then will I go and draw it out. Because I give myself panel direction about how each of my panels is meant to look before I even consider drawing any of it, which I haven't done for this page, and that's kind of why I'm taking more time to finish it, because I never did any of the panel planning, so I'm having to do a lot of creative considerations on the fly, which is a bit slack of me, but, you know. You know, hopefully I'll be able to finish it soon, so I can focus on researching Chapter 4. Because in a way, Um, I consider what happens in chapters 1, 2, and 3 as their own sort of enclosed story. What I really need to do is have an enclosed story for chapters 4, 5, and 6. Or if not 4, 5, and 6, then 4 and 5, and then an intermission. Either one of the two. Which I do not have planned out in its entirety. So really, I would like to have chapter 4 planned out before I even consider drawing any of it out. But, you know, we'll get around to it. Get around to it when we get around to it. Also, she's got, like, very squashed face, right? She's got squashed face syndrome. Oh, come on, you. Research and development. I find the fun part. Ah, okay. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I actually like the creative process a lot because I find it very gratifying. When I actually, you know, when I draw something out that I've planned for, like, you know, before I actually do it, I find that really satisfying. So I'm curious. I think once you get past the, you know, the anxiety of, you know, being confident in putting something out, you'll find you'll have a lot more fun with the actual creating process rather than just the research. Yeah. No, research is good fun, but, you know, at the same time, so is drawing. Got to believe. Oh, of course, of course. Of course. How long have we spent? An hour and a half. I need to be a bit more faster in my drawing though, so who knows? Maybe I'll shut up. I don't know. Should I? No, you can continue speaking if you want. It's more so a personal thing that I have to psych myself up to do. Don't feel like you should be silent. It's fun talking to people. Alright. I had to take part. Go for it. Go for it. I am interested. Piques my curiosity. Uh... it doesn't matter. It's fine. Transformation. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep, I'm interested. I'm interested to see where you're taking that concept. Okay. Tell me more. Still the person, but the body is totally different. Yep. Yep, go for it. Manage a new form of living or thought or movement, how the character must accept it and move on. To me, it feels like an idea that can still be felt in the real world, how some of us go through incredible changes, good or bad, and must accept a forward-thinking mindset to find closure. Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. Where are you taking this idea, I must ask? Some of us fall into pits we can't get out of because of the grief of change, but we still can find strength. Hmm? Yeah, yes. Need to spend less time on sketches. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna jump to panel 5, because panel 6. Oh, sod it, let's do panel 5. This will be an easy panel. still something I haven't wrote down in an extensive practice, but to me the scene I want to make believable is the realization of the transformation that took place. How would one emotionally and mentally react to this change, instead of just being indifferent to it? Okay, let's have a think. Let's have a think about how we can address what you want to achieve. Let's have a think. Your issue is an issue of transformation. So to find a good way of describing that, there's a couple of cliched ways you could do it. One is to show how is to like show off a physical transformation. I think a more nuanced way is to show between someone who knows your character's original form, to show them off that new form and show their reaction to that new form, if that makes sense. So if I had a character that transformed physically, I would introduce another character that knew them beforehand, that knew the way that they looked before, and then you could write how they would react to that transformation. And then you could write how your character would react to their character's, or like, reaction to that transformation in a weird way. Dealing with physical transformation is weird because I get that I have the feeling that you're trying to allude to a sort of mental and emotional maturity. You're trying to invoke a certain mental and emotional maturity, or at least motifs of those. So having a character that would know what the unchanged state would be before experiencing the changed state, and having them react to that, is a very easy way of efficiently conveying that idea of it. Because, like, okay, I think I know where you're coming from. I think I know, like, where you're trying to go down in your story. I think I know what path you're trying to lead. Essentially, like, you want your character, I can't remember her name, but I will give you, I'll just skim through and see if I can remember. Kitty, that's right. I think I know where you're coming from in that being that Kitty will be transported to a new and fantastical world, similar to ours, but with fox people. And so, indifference from the fox people seeing Kitty you could overcome the issue of indifference by Kitty reacting hysterically to the indifference that everyone is showing her, if that makes sense. So if everyone looks at you, if you look at yourself like a freak, but everyone else doesn't look at you like a freak, obviously that invokes dissonance. So now your character is forced to choose between, okay, should I listen to these people? Should I accept how these people treat? Like, should I accept these people's indifference of my transformation in a positive way, or should I accept it in a negative way, leading to hysteria? Should I take the route of catharsis or neurosis, in a way? I think that's the base psychological not motif, how do I describe this? I think that's the base emotion that you want to invoke out of your reader, or that you want your reader to sympathize with. Because there's a lot of ways of, you know, because that's just how it is with creativity. Writing a story is that it's largely a problem-solving exercise. So I've provided 2 solutions to you. I don't know if you want to follow those or if you want to try and incorporate my solutions into a different piece of writing. But hopefully I generated at least 2 solutions that took 2 different paths. One that was more direct and one that was more, character dependent and one that was more character independent, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, especially when dealing with transformation, you always want to focus on the character's personal way of dealing with it, or seeking validation from outside, or from outsiders, i.e. like close friends, things like that, you know. For Fox Hill, I'm gonna finish drawing this head before I consider what I'm about to say. It was going to be a fish out of water kind of scenario. Kitty is by herself, but because her friend came before, there are others who have experienced a human interaction. Okay, I see. I see what you mean. So, do you want Kitty to meet up with your character at the end and generate conflict as to the acceptance of transformation and the rejection of transformation? Is that what you want to invoke? Lord of the Flies, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. But Lord of the Flies deals with the exception of scenarios to become something different. The exception of realities to become something different. But in Lord of the Flies, that was seen as a negative thing because the island had sort of wiped the idea of what the boys had been before, and the island had sort of become their own identity, if that made sense. Whereas the source of identity transformation you're probably coming from, yeah. So in Lord of the Flies, the boys adopt the identity of the island. I think in Fox Hill, Kitty is trying to adopt or reject the identity imposed and like sort of so okay. Yeah, no, you're all right. You're all right. The thing is, with Lord of the Flies, the adoption of identity from the island is considered a bad thing because you're essentially rejecting your humanity. But in Fox Hill, I think you're trying to evoke a sort of identity transformation that borders on emotional or mental maturity, if that makes sense. So different to Lord of the Flies. It deals with, it's sort of 2 sides of the same coin, if you will. The positivity and the negativity of identity transformation. But whether or not you want to take the positive or the negative side of identity transformation, that will be for you to decide, you know? Anyway, I'm gonna just tilt Clive's head. No, Clive's head tilts far too much, honestly. We need to, like, stop that. No, you're alright. Yes, okay, the other idea is more about social change it causes. Yeah, for Fox Hill, it's more personal growth. Yeah. a lot of your sort of society imposing identity changes, forcing your character to accept those changes or reject them, is seen in a lot of fiction that deals with cults. Like, for example, I think I can give a good example and say Midsommar was a good example of such a change, because the identity that the summer dance, I don't remember, you know, what sort of tradition it was. I know Midsommar itself is a tradition, but the tradition shown in the film followed the life of a very sort of closed off community with very ritualistic practices that dealt with the treatment of human life that is counter to what us Westerners would accept human life to be. And so the whole story focuses on the transformation, the gradual transformation of character, that both the main character, I can't remember her name, and her boyfriend undergo. And essentially, the horror of it all is they basically relinquish their old identities to accept a new identity that is imposed on them through the use of psychedelics, ritualistic practices, and the fear of not conforming. And so that's generally seen as a negative thing in the film. And we see that rather negative transformation throughout characters. But, you know, and same thing goes with Lord of the Flies. You get a bunch of boys who are trapped on a desert island, and they're basically forced to either conform to what the island's will for them has, or they are or they choose to reject it. And so Piggy and the main boy, I can't remember who their names are, but they end up rejecting the philosophy of the island, and they end up coming out as sort of the tragic heroes. Well, Piggy not so much, but the main boy certainly, because he finds the soldiers, and to him, he basically finds, or like, he comes to the realization that he's survived a rather awful event. To give context, the other idea was something I wanted to try to get better at writing. It's about an entire city of people who, for no explanation, all turn into random animals. And how it's the world and the transformed react and handle this. Yeah, okay. Okay, you can invoke dysphoria, you can invoke, what's its face? You can invoke hysteria, at the sudden change. The horror writer in me wants to sort of steer it more towards the direction of transhumanism and the rejection of humanity, but the sort of optimist in me would like to spin that story into the maturity of emotion and the acceptance of new identity. So everyone still have their human minds, but the city is closed off, and the ones inside have to try and survive in their new forms. So groups get formed and new laws are made. And so I'd imagine, I think the easy route of taking that would be to focus on sort of, if you're taking the horror route, the main question you would like to ask your readers is it cannibalism if predators and prey exist where man, or like where humans once exist, you know? So for example, you get a faction of predators, or like a tribalistic faction of predators who want to hunt down, to accept their new identity and reject their old humanity, but you also have a faction of predators who try and suppress their beast-like instincts, you know? Yeah, it was not going to be a kid's story. No, hell no. Hell no. I think ages ago I had a TF story in mind where essentially like every month, every single person would transform into a new animal and would be forced to sort of accept a new identity. Yeah, like at the end of every month, no matter... And, you know, it would follow the story of two lovers, who at the end would be forced to sort of accept that their love would never, you know, be true and accept new identities. It was like a very half-baked idea. I probably have the Word documents lying around, but it was interesting to work on, certainly. And it got me thinking about, you know, how can I write about change without invoking, you know, TF and tropes like that. His legs are way too small. Hold on, let's decrease the size of that. Widen the size of that. No, that looks very, very silly. Let's just increase the size of his legs. Wait, is that about right? It's just short. Okay, there we go. There we go. Alright. Then move this back. Something like that. I think something like that can be achieved. No, I'd love a horror film where it's like, yeah, basically you have a human civilization that's cut off from the world, and everyone is transformed into a different animal. And the experiment, if you will, would be, will these animals with the human minds and presumably human voices try and create new laws, or will they just revert to rather savage? Would they just resort to savagery? The idea was, it was a fantastical concept, but the character motivations I wanted to be serious, of course. Of course. Oh boy. No, he needs to be center panel. There we go. That's better. How would they go about it? Like, would they be supportive? Would they give in? How would they handle it? Of course. No, it's I like the separation of man, or like the very fragile separations of man and beast. A very, very interesting motif to work with. No, not motif. You know what I mean. Well, yes, but no. Ugh. Let's just define motif so I'm not making a fool of myself. Yeah, no, motif. Motif is absolutely no, that's absolutely the correct usage of the word. Goodness. Goodness, I was about to gaslight myself. And how the world's watching this unfold. Oh my lord, that's incredible! I never even considered that. Oh, I never considered that for a second. Oh, could you imagine, right, if there are people from, like, nearby cities who have families in that city? And, like, could you imagine a very upstanding, you know, middle-of-the-road family just turn into savage, you know, wolves? Oh, that's so horrific. I love it. Yeah, no, that's an incredible idea. I would love to see that fleshed. You should absolutely make that a comic. You should absolutely partner up with a writer. Or like with an artist. And flesh out that story. That sounds so good. That's like proper published work right there. What do you mean? How about me? How about me? Look, Felis is my baby. Felis is my baby. I'm not gonna say that it's good enough for anyone else to read. That's narcissistic. People will read it if they want to read it, and if they don't, they won't. You know? If I gain success from this, hooray. If I don't, oh well. On to the next venture. I dedicate myself to finishing off this comic, and beyond that, you know, I don't expect anything else. I hope I can do this full time, but, you know, chances are I probably won't. He's still got long face syndrome. Let's fix that up. Is it bad that I'm Why would you be scared of my next venture? Why would you be scared of my next venture? Well, stay scared. My advice to you, stay scared. Scared is where I want you to be. If you're scared of my next venture, good. If you're scared of what I'm going to create next, good. That gives me an incredible position of power to utilize. I've also noticed that I've stopped using a lot of, like, you know, down and to the side poses. I've done a lot more, you know, from the bottom, you know, facing upwards angles. Like, I can't remember the last time where I drew a hat that was going downwards. Because I'm used to that in a weird way. I've done that quite a couple of times. But, not anymore, strangely enough. Oh, goodness. Oh, oh, yawn. Yawnsy. Oh, I can't look at that, that's right. Sad. Very, very depressing. Oh. Oh my lord, where are the 3 S's coming from? Submission notifications. What the hell are submission notifications? What? Huh? That's weird. Huh. Okay, well. That's that then. If that animal scenario vegan happened, do you think of people... Yes. No. You can absolutely talk about vegetarianism and veganism, because you know, the fact that humans have turned into animals brings a human element to it. I think there's a lot of, I don't know. There's definitely a selfish element to humanity, when it comes to eating animals. Because, like, back then, way back when, you would have to kill your own animals. And, eating an animal would be shown as a sign of respect. But nowadays, it's just a piece of meat that you just buy at a supermarket. I think a return to veganism would make sense. It makes sense because now people have an emotional attachment to animals that was not available for the majority of the developed, or the history of developed humankind. Been going for 2 hours. I'm gonna try and finish off these sketches. Yeah, of course, you gotta stay sharp with your story building. You have to stay sharp, otherwise, game over, man. I've got to ask more people about what they would think or do, because, oh, definitely. Yeah, ask as many people as you can, because, one brain can create so much and give insight to so many different aspects of humankind, but many brains can multiply what that one brain could do on its own. Sweet. Interesting. I think I might still make his head just a little bit smaller. Because, yeah, it is very chibi at the moment. Yeah, I think that's better, honestly. Still looks like a small boy, which, Clive is. Clive's a small boy, but he looks less of a small boy now. Alright. Dragons are actors and performers in the other world. Okay. I see. When I can handle heavier plots better, I'll try for a more adult book, but it's young adult. I mean, there's a lot of overlap between young adult and adult, you know. You could come up with something interesting. That targets both demographics. Because you don't just have to restrict yourself to one demographic. You should try and diversify as much as you can and have a little bit of something for everyone, you know? You don't want to find yourself restricting yourself to, like, 2 or more genres. You want to spice things up as much as you can. You want to create the most, what is it? Fulfilling narrative that you can tell. Well, I certainly want to avoid the... Oh, hell yeah. I have a bit of a problem. Or, like, the chosen one trope is a problem, but I'm curious how one can overcome it in a satisfying way. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But what if the chosen one was chosen to fulfill a prophecy, and up until the very last point, they realize that that prophecy is not something they want, and then they try and fight fate, if that makes sense. I think that's a good subversion of the chosen one trope that could work out. But you gotta handle it in just the right way. Otherwise, yeah. Because then fate becomes the enemy. The chosen one trope becomes the enemy. Because you have to think to yourself, you know, how on earth are they going to get themselves out of... How are they going to subvert destiny? Is it possible to subvert destiny? I think there's a lot of interesting stories to tell with that, you know? Calm down, miss. Calm down, M. Night. No, but what M. Night does is he just implements a twist that, like, oh, shock value. You gotta implement, like, a... what's his name? Fella who wrote Knives Out. Because Knives Out is a good twist. Because... basically, midway through, the movie turns from a whodunit story into fighting the detective story. You know? I mean, that's a good way of using a plot twist. And then at the very end, you can only realize, like, a twist villain should make the most logical sense, but, you know, your twist villain could only be the only twist villain. Yeah, like, Knives Out is a twist done well. Because, and, like, subversion done well. Because midway through, we know how the crime was committed. And so the story shifts from a whodunit into a, how can she get away with this? And then once you get to the very end, you find out who the twist villain was all along. And then you realized it could have only been that twist villain all along. All of the clues start to make sense and it just clicks like that. I love Knives Out. Definitely one of my favorite films of all time. Definitely, definitely. But yeah, anyway. Like M. Night Shyamalan, you know, Mr. Glass in Who's Its Face? Mr. Glass in Unbreakable. You know, bad twist. You know, it's kind of like, meh, okay. It's like, could that have like, why? Why? Unbreakable is a really good film. I love Unbreakable. But the twist at the end, I'm like, meh. Definitely worth a watch, though, if you ever have a rainy day. I'm just gonna have a look at Unbreakable, though, to see if I can remember. Oh, the Unbreakable trilogy. Oh, I forgot it was a trilogy. Oh, no. Oh, dang. Tarantino included in his list of top 20 films since 1992. Sick. And then Split, and I hated it. And then Glass. Just... Ugh. That's also another interesting film that Samuel Jackson was involved in. Because, you know, usually Samuel L. Jackson is just cast as Samuel L. Jackson in different roles. But he takes on the role of Mr. Glass really, really well. What's another one that he was involved in? He was involved in Django Unchained. I really liked him in Django Unchained. Yeah, really talented actor. But I just want to see him in roles where he's not just playing Samuel L. Jackson with various weapons. Goodness. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, no. I was talking about, Unbreakable, the M. Night movie. Still could have done without that twist at the end, but, you know, still a good film. I'm talking about Unbreakable, like the M. Night Shyamalan movie. Saw 1 twist was actually... okay. What happened in the Saw 1 twist? I think I remember, but I just have to think about it. Yeah, I'd say Saw 1 twist was alright. But it had to happen... It happened to set up every other twist in the series, which, I'm not a fan of. Honestly, could have done without. Yep. Yeah, I mean, a good twist in theory, but at the same time, you have to realize that a good twist will set up all of its clues at the earliest opportunity, and then deliver on them in the final, in the finale. That's what you have to realize a good twist does. A twist isn't simply like, oh, I'm gonna recontextualize everything that you've seen prior. It's like, no, this was hinted to beforehand. And now you can realize that only this scenario is the only way the story would make the most sense. Like, without a twist, the story would still make a little bit of sense. But with the twist, the story makes complete sense. Yeah, no, a twist shouldn't be, twists are misused when they're used only for shock value. A good twist should, invoke the aha response. But it should also completely wrap up the story in a satisfying way. You know? There are a couple of good twists. I think the various twists in Tenet were very good. The only thing is that, the time travel mechanic was... I wouldn't say convoluted, but it was very clever. And I don't know if it was too clever, because it is entirely possible to have, you know, mechanics in your world that are too clever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm generally a fan of Christopher Nolan movies, but Tenet, especially, with the audio mixing in that film, could have been better. Could have been better. Let's see. Done. Sort of done, just need to tweak the facial expression. Now I need to finish this down here, and then we're done. Then we'll come back in the afternoon about 5 hours from now, I think. And we'll do the line art and we'll do everything else, you know. And it'll be fine. I wouldn't say overvalues that with the plot. You know, Inception is a good example of that. I don't think the cinematography in Tennis overshadowed the story. In fact, I think the story overshadowed the cinematography. Yeah, he struggles a bit with exposition. Yeah. He does have a lot of moments where the characters are just talking about, you know, a concept. You know, he does have a little bit of an issue with exposition and not, you know, like not introducing it diegetically. Forward pace is something I hope to achieve, of course. Of course. Forward pace is always good. Usually. Usually good. Right, we just have one more panel left to do. And then we're done. And we're done. Hmm. No, that's a really clever way of handling exposition. Yeah. It's good to trust your readers, but, you know, over-trusting your readers has its issues. For example, I'd say Tenet again. There's a lot of, like, mind-fucky moments in this, where you have to think to yourself, like, come on, how can you expect anyone to understand this? That's something I'm not really a fan of. Like, I think the process of having a story take place forwards and reverse in time is like, it's very troubling. Very troubling indeed. And trying to shove a linear story into that is very, yeah, I don't know how to feel about it.
No, I had a lot of fun watching Tenet just to decode the physics of it. Like, for example, the reverse bullets made no sense when you thought about them. Even though, you know... Yeah, so, like, here's the thing. I think the two main issues I had in it were, like, the reverse bullets and the... And I think the fire as well. Like the scene where he's in the car and he gets set on fire, but the fire is in reverse. Because he starts from a state of room temperature. And he's lit on fire, so he actually freezes. I think that was a little bit, I don't know how the physics of that line up. Plus the process of bullets acting in reverse, while it makes sense, does not make sense when you consider, like, how literally every other object in that universe was inverted, but somehow a non-inverted creature could interact with an inverted bullet. Based on something as simple as instinct. And you know how non-inverted fire... Yeah, that's another thing, though. How non-inverted fire would just simply, like, even light to begin with. And the car itself wasn't... There's, like, a lot of quirky things. Like, that I just don't agree with the physics of it. But like, overall, I'd say Tenet was an enjoyable film. Yeah. The concept of, like, forward and reverse time travel, fine. But, like, the more far-fetched moments where you literally have, like, inverted bullets being manipulated by non-inverted people is kind of like, eh. Well, no, not really, because it's matter going through something else. You have to realize that an inverted bullet would, to us, would appear as though, it basically, it's just like the direction of matter. So an inverted bullet would what's its face? An inverted bullet would just go through a guy in the opposite direction towards your gun. It would still pierce his skin. So that brings up another thing, like, could you shoot an inverted person, and if so, when you yourself are inverted, you could go back, would that bring them back to life? I don't know. But they never explored that possibility of just casually bringing people back to life. Except for that one instance where you had, the tall British woman basically, like, revive herself. But see, here's the thing. The film itself is paradoxical, if that makes sense. Because, like, the main villain is shot by a copy of his wife. But that wife experiences a reality where, like, she remembers being with her husband. So really, the film is a paradox between, like, between the mother and her child just not having that man in their life. And then the child goes on to become, Robert Pattinson, who ends up, like, being introduced to the Tenet organization. Like, if a bullet is lodged in a guy's heart, and a guy going reverse in time were to point at the guy and pull the trigger would... Oh! that's another thing, right? Like annihilation is brought up once. The concept of annihilation is brought up once, and nothing else is done with it ever again. That was something that like I'd never got. And there were also several moments where a non-inverted character was breathing inverted air and it did not matter. But maybe that was something to do with the apparatus itself. There were a lot of like small parts that I could nitpick with the film's physics. But overall, like the film itself did a really good job of providing a fantastical world. Because like, here's the thing, right? Technically speaking, nothing in Tenet, if you inverted a human, would be able to happen. Because we're assuming that you're also, by going under the process of inversion, you're also inverting the physics of the world you're interacting with. Yeah, it's more fun to dissect than it is. Well, I think it's equal parts fun to dissect and that it is to watch. So here's the thing, right? You have to assume that in an inverted world, you're also inverting that world's physics. So, for example, you light the fire and you get set into permafrost, for example. So what would that say about motion? Is motion just a constant? Because remember, the opposite of a pushing force is a pulling force. So the bullet is pulled back into its casing, as opposed to shot out of its casing. So, could you, as a person, could you impose a force on anything in your environment while you were inverted? Realistically speaking, any surface that you try to push on while you're inverted, you should be pulled on. So you should never actually be running, you should just be pulled onto the ground constantly. Which technically you can see in non-inverted time. You can, like, that's how people have the appearance of moving backwards, because technically speaking, they are being attracted. You know, in the concept of non-inverted time. And the same, like, you know, it switches. But I don't know. I don't know, there's a lot of small questions to be asked. Obviously, I think, like, the concept of motion was considered when writing the film, but I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of weird physics things that they do in that film that I would have to consider myself before I could accept them. Oh dear. Anyway, I think I'm starting to get off track, so I think I might just end the stream here. Oh, goodness. And then, like, do some sketch twinking. Twinking, goodness. Tweaking in my own time. But yeah. No, I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks so much for sticking around, Q. You're the best. But yeah, I'm gonna